Well, hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny spoilers. So yes, this video does in fact have spoilers, so if you have not seen the film, get the hell out of here. If you want a non-spoiler video, you can check out my review right here. And if you don't care about spoilers, just stick around. Let's have a good time. And I normally don't do a lot of spoiler videos for like these big movies because I don't really have a lot to talk about in depth, but I feel like with this movie, because of what happens in this movie, I have so much to talk about. Yeah, get ready, brace yourselves. So before I get into the spoilers, I'm just talk about like a little bit about what I think about the movie in case you have not seen my regular review. To me, I think the movie is just fine. And it is a fun time overall. It's not great, but it's not bad either. I did feel the pacing slowing down a lot in the second act, but overall I was entertained throughout, and Harrison Ford really makes up for all the issues that I have with this movie because he gives an amazing performance. And I think it's due to the fact that he's much older, and you can definitely feel for him because he's gone through so much in life and life didn't really go the way he expected to, and you can really feel that in Harrison Ford's performance. He's a much more broken down Indy, but he's not like that throughout the entire movie because he has an arc, and whether or not that arc was executed perfectly, that's gonna depend on the third act and the ending. And I feel like the main issues I have with this movie is the third act and the ending. So I feel like throughout this entire movie, it's like a race against time. You know, you got Indy chasing after Voller, stopping him from getting the dial to travel back in 1939. Like, they're setting that moment up. So throughout the entire film, I'm like, oh, is he actually going to get back to 1939 to kill Hitler and change history? Like, you know, there are stakes in the movie, to the story, to the plot. And then plot twist, they actually travel back to 213 BC during the siege of Syracuse, right? And at first I was like, this is kind of confusing. Are they actually going to go back to 1939, or this is just like a mistake, you know? But turns out the dial can only get back to 213 BC during the siege of Syracuse. So there is no 1939 sequence at all. And to me personally, I think if they went back to 1939, it would have made the film a lot better, more suspenseful, have more stakes, a race against time. It gives an opportunity for Indy and Helena to actually try to stop Voller from killing Hitler. Like, to have the villain win just for a little bit, it would make the third act much more engaging than what we got. Like, the fact that they travel back in time to 213 BC shows that, you know, our villain has lost really easily, and it's such a lazy way to wrap up his character. Like, you never get a sense that the villain was ever gonna win or anything. Like, it's just, oh, he lost. Like, ta-da, boom, that's it. Now let's talk about the callback between Marion and Indy at the end. And I will agree that this was a very emotional moment, and it definitely got me in the feels, not gonna lie. But at the same time, it just felt rushed because what we got in the third act makes me feel like we didn't deserve this moment yet into the story. Like, it feels like there should be more happening before we get to Marion and Indy reuniting. Instead, Marion just shows up and it's like happily ever after, you know? Like, I feel like if they were actually able to get back to 1939, I feel like there would have to be a moment where Indy has to change something in the past so that Marion stays with him, so that his son doesn't go to the war. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but something along those lines so that we can feel like, you know, yes, Indy deserves this moment. Like, he actually got what he wanted. Instead, it's just kind of easily given to him, and it just very lazy way to end the story. And I feel like for a final Indiana Jones film, I feel like I needed a proper conclusion, you know, to feel like, oh, this is the end. But instead, this doesn't feel like the end. The ending makes me feel like there could be more adventures to come. Like, I'm well aware that we will not be getting another Indiana Jones movie, but this movie, the ending, doesn't make me feel like this is a conclusion. It just felt like another one of Indy's adventures, and if you look at it that way, you know, that's fine, but for a final Indiana Jones film, I expected more. I still give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's still fun. It still has some great action moments, even though it's missing that gritty, like, get your hands dirty type of action scenes. And it's like I said at the beginning, Harrison Ford, his performance really makes up for all the flaws that I have with this movie. If I had to pick between Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or Dial of Destiny, I'd probably pick Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I know, like, a very unpopular opinion. I know a lot of you really love Dial of Destiny more, and that's completely fine. But I'm actually one of those people that doesn't really hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, I think it's fun and it's fine just as much as this movie. But maybe it's just because I have a special place in my heart for that movie, since it was the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw in theaters back in 2008. And yeah, nostalgia is a strong emotion for me, and yeah, I feel that with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, even though that movie is very problematic at times. And overall, it's just a much more fun and lighthearted film, whereas Dial of Destiny is just a bit more serious and somber, even though it does have a bit of humor, and I don't dislike the seriousness of this movie at all. I think it's great. But if I had to pick between which one to rewatch, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So what did you think of the ending of Dial of Destiny? Let me know in the comments, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.